We're doing a farm to table today. Well, everything 100% local as much as we can. A huge amount of the stuff we actually grew on our farm. And then everything down to like the flour, the spices. Whenever I do like an event like this, I want the first bite to kind of set the pace for the rest of the night. The acidity from the tomatoes, the sweet, savory bacon, and then this Thai basil, just think of it as way more flavorful than an Italian basil. All right, we're bringing out the next few courses here. So we're sharing this family style. You know, this is a farm to table dinner. This is kind of like a communal event. So similar to Thanksgiving, we're passing the bowl to each other. So pass it along and enjoy. Restaurants are an amazing place to be. There's an amazing tight-knit group of people to work with, but there's a lot of downside, not a lot of time spent with family and friends. When I graduated culinary school, I went into the restaurant scene in Cedar Rapids and was introduced to a ton of local farmers, and then decided that I would rather have my time be that. Yeah, so growing up on a farm, we were pretty self-sufficient with produce. We did a lot of canning. We raised our own chickens for meat, for eggs. We raised our own cattle. Not until I moved out and went to school did I realize the quality of food that we were eating. That was really when I started to try to put my full focus on making food. So it's been built into me from a young age, pulling produce right out of the garden and taking it to the hose and rinsing it off and eating it. Hoffmann Farm and Forage. We are a chef-focused farm. Being a chef, before I started doing this full-time, we grow products that we're gonna want to cook with, that I would want to see come through my restaurant door if I was working there. The other aspect is foraging. We do a ton of foraging. That kind of started as a hobby of mine. It's a huge income boost for us when we are able to forage mushrooms. You know, mushrooms are essentially like a protein. Like it's if we were to bring beef to the market, but it's mushrooms. Oh, we like to saute them in a little butter. I like to say wherever you like mushrooms is kind of how I'd suggest you cook them that way. So you'll probably be most successful that way. It's fun to be able to talk to people and see how excited they are about that. Or, oh, I've never seen this mushroom. Can you explain it to me? How do you cook it? Or, oh, I don't like mushrooms. And then you kind of like try to broaden their horizon. There's just so many other better mushrooms out there. So I get bored easy, so if I just farmed, I would hate it. So first it was photography, and then I started to ID the mushrooms and then cook with them and eat them. So my day is literally split in thirds, cooking, foraging, and farming. So a lot of times when I'm randomly walking around looking for mushrooms, I'm looking at tree canopies and trees for what kind of trees they are. I'll be looking for like downed dead logs, depending on what I'm looking for. Most likely, if it's in season, you'll find some. We started with just my wife and I loving nature. Our weekends were spent hiking. We would go out in the woods. We would hike. We would find nature, and you want to learn about it. So, you know, you start to educate yourself. You start to learn more. Then you start to comprehend like the different aspects of edible food that is out in nature. Tucked back under this log are two little ghost pipes or corpse plant. So you can see it's completely white. This one's a little older, so it's turning a little black. They don't get their nutrients from the sun at all. They latch onto the mycorrhizal undergrowth, which is basically the root network of mushrooms. And the root network of mushrooms lives off of the decomposing material of trees. Mushrooms to plant to the trees through that. It's super cool. There's like some interesting like aspects to foraging that people have a little bit of, I would say like maybe apprehension. Such a foreign thing for the States especially. This is a coral tooth mushroom. It's in the same family as lion's mane, and it has amazing medicinal benefits. So Iowa State Extension has a licensing class where you can go and you can get certified to be a licensed forager. I remember my first class back in like 2015 or something it was. It was a small classroom. There was maybe 10 people in it. And then the class that I had this past spring, it was a lecture classroom. It was full. There was a few hundred people in there. And that's just one class of a dozen that they do a year. And it's exciting, you know, it's fun to come across something like that. So these still have a little bit of time on them. They call them watermelon radish, that bright color right in the middle. This piece of land is pretty like dear to my heart. It was my great-grandfather purchased this property in the 1940s. Late fall 2020, we purchased a house in Roland, and the fall of 2020, we tilled ground to put our first garlic crop in. At that point, we just full-headed transitioned and moved the farm here. We had to build all new clientele. We had to find new markets. Really, I just want to work with the product that we grow, genuinely enjoy being able to like present a meal and be like, hey, this is 100% locally sourced from Iowa, from even down to a 20, 30 mile radius within Iowa. But to be able to take this family farm, create a community built around it, I mean, it's wonderful, and hopefully like able to like show that experience to the next generation. Like, it's been outstanding. I'm excited to continue to grow and continue to move forward with everything we're doing.